You guys, I want to share with you my favorite place to shop online. It's literally a one-stop shop for all the people on your Christmas list. Zulily offers daily deals on thousands of items from up-and-coming brands and household names. You'll find a store full of new things every day, and you'll always get great value and free shipping on orders of $89 or more. Explore toys, clothing, and smart home finds, plus top beauty and wellness trends. Have fun shopping without breaking the bank or leaving your house. Save on clothes, toys, and home decor. New deals every day. That's my favorite part. New shops pop up every single day. Check the link in my show notes to check out Zulily today. Sorry for your new addiction. Not sorry about all the money you'll save this holiday season shopping on Zulily.
Hello, friends. I hope all my States friends had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm actually recording this podcast the Monday before Thanksgiving because I will be in Punta Cana when it actually releases on November 28th. My in-laws come into town tomorrow, and they will be here through our Punta Cana trip to spend the holidays with us and then take care of our home for us while we are away. So I'm recording today since I still have no door on my office because my office, this is also my dining room. I'm actually facing my dining room table right now. So I will have a full house the rest of the week, which means lots of noise. And did I mention that I asked Santa for a door for Christmas? Because I just want one of those sliding barn doors, I think it will look like a dining room still, but also allow me to record things when I need to with a little more quiet. You feel me? Also, you see this? You see this? That is a Christmas tree. I never put up a tree before Thanksgiving. But because we will be doing so, we'll have family here and we'll also be doing the traveling. If I didn't do it now, it wouldn't get up till sometime mid-December. And that's way too much work to only enjoy for a little bit of time. So there it is. Criticize me if you want. I think it's pretty gorgeous. I was pretty hesitant to put it up, but now that it's here, it really does, just brings a little more joy to your heart. So anyway, let's get to the topic today. I'm going to keep this short and sweet and tactical for you guys. If you're on my newsletter list, then the email you received this past Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, is on this very topic. And so some of the tactical tips that I put at the very end are going to sound familiar to you. If you're not on my newsletter list, then the link is always in the show notes for you to subscribe and soak up some weekly motivation. My newsletter list actually got a little bonus for me over the weekend. I was creating my Thanksgiving grocery list and my game plan. I kind of go through like an hourly schedule because I only have one oven. And you have to, if you're hosting and all of these things need to go in the oven for dinner, I need to know what time to put each thing in the oven. And so I really do have that detail of a game plan. And then while I'm working through it, I'm like, I bet you some other people would find this useful as well. So I actually created a shareable document to give to all my subscribers. So they can use it for their next holiday hosting gig. It doesn't have to be just Thanksgiving, right? I'll be using that document forever. I love it. So another perk of being on that newsletter list. If you missed that, by the way, and you would like that document for your future holidays and hosting gigs, just drop me a message on social media or whatever, and I will get you a copy of that totally free. Anyway, what I want to talk about today is gratitude because Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. That's really why I don't normally put the tree up before Thanksgiving. I don't have any hate towards anybody who decorates for Christmas early because if it adds joy to your life, who cares what anybody thinks, right? The only reason I don't normally put mine up this early is because Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday and I really like to soak it up. I don't want to feel like I'm rushing past it, So I love it because it helps us focus on what we are grateful for. It's not about gifts. That's what I love. It's just about food and family and togetherness and a reminder of what's really important to us. And it has a way of just making you look at your life, at least it does for me, and make you realize that all the things that happened this past year that were challenging, what matters most is that you're here in this moment and you have that day with the people that are there with you. And there is always something to be grateful for if we choose to look for those things. If you can hear my voice right now, what a blessing. If you're a YouTube watcher and you can see me right now, what a blessing. If you woke up this morning, what a blessing. If you're warm, if you ate today, if you have food for tomorrow, if you have clothes on your body, all of those things are things to be grateful for. And social media sometimes makes it more challenging to be grateful for the seemingly little things. We see people with their big home remodels, people rocking the next big fashion trend, someone's new car, the extravagant trips. And we think if we aren't doing those things or can't afford those things, that we have nothing to be grateful for. And I have felt that way and had to remind myself that I have so much more than I need in my life today as I sit here with you. Just because I don't have everything that I desire doesn't mean my life is not full of blessings. It does not mean that your life is not full of blessings. That bully in our head makes it really hard sometimes, though, doesn't it? I mean, damn, she could be a bitch, right? I'm sorry, but it's true. She reminds me I don't have the bank account balance I want. I can't afford my kid's dream Christmas present. I haven't met my business goals this month. I'm not where I thought I would be at this point in the year, et cetera, et cetera. Yours probably reminds you of lack too, right? But if we allow that to fester and fester, we will just see more of it and therefore unintentionally create more of it, right? Like if you are focusing on your lack of money you desire and just telling yourself you'll never get ahead, then why would you actually try to get ahead? You don't even realize that you're sabotaging yourself. You've already told yourself that there is no hope. And if you are focusing on the weight you haven't lost and not the habit you're creating of taking care of you, then you're just going to continue to feel more and more like you'll never lose that weight and like it's just not possible for you. I hear from clients all the time, you guys know I'm a fitness coach, I just like food too much. That's what they tell me. And I want to say, do you follow my stories? Because I love food. I like food too. Honestly, it's one of the things me and my husband really connected over when we first met. I think he really likes that I love to eat. But I have the power. The food only has the power that I give it. I eat what I want and then I move on with my life. What matters is what I'm eating most of the time, and I desire to feel good. I'm sure we all desire to feel good, right? And I know what foods make me feel good, and I know what foods only taste good. I just make sure to eat more of what makes me feel good than I do of what only tastes good. If you're telling yourself you'll never lose the weight because of your love for food, well, then you'll never lose the weight. And that's just an example of how we create more of what we focus on. Same thing goes for gratitude. If you focus on what you're grateful for, even in your darkest day, you will find the strength to push through those hard times and grow through those hard times. I'm not saying it's easy to focus on what you're grateful for every day. Sometimes I wake up and I'm just feeling off. And I've had a lot of those days these past couple months. I've been very honest with the people close to me that like, gosh, I've just not been feeling like myself a lot lately. And, sometimes maybe it's that I've had an argument with my spouse the day before, or financially things are strapped, or something unexpected happened in my business, or my 12-year-old is just being moody as he has been a lot lately, my preteen. Or you know what? Sometimes just for no reason I could put my finger on at all. And I go out to my gratitude practice in the morning that I'll share about in a minute. And it's like, seriously? I have to write down 3 things I'm grateful for. And I throw a little pity party. I'm not going to lie. I throw a little tantrum in my head. But you know what? I've never struggled to come up with 3 things to write down. It's just my mind didn't want to in that moment. My mind wanted to feel sorry for myself for a minute. And I had to consciously say, no, I will not be sabotaged by my thoughts. I have the power to create how I want to feel in this moment. And this feeling of lack doesn't feel good. I think I shared this before, but I was listening to another podcast recently, and she was talking about a custodian she had seen in the airport that was just as happy as he could be, singing and being loud through the airport, doing a job that many would complain about. But this man was happy and singing. Why is that? His focus was on gratitude, I would bet. His focus was on joy. It's a choice that he made. If you don't like your job, but you need it right now and you have no other choice, how do you want to spend your working hours? Totally fucking miserable? Or do you want to control what you can and inject some joy into that situation? I would rather focus on what I have. In my government job that I wasn't thrilled to be in, I would sit down at my desk and immediately pick out a playlist to help shift my mindset for that day. It was what I could control. I was grateful to have a job that paid my bills, even if I didn't love that job. I'm totally about to butcher a quote. You can either focus on the fact that roses have thorns or be grateful that thorns have roses, right? So the job itself was kind of the thorn, the environment, who I felt like I needed to be while I was there, but the rose was beautiful. And I was grateful to have a job that provided for my family. Gratitude changes your perception. Your perception changes your existence. Something I heard Steve Harvey say once. I could exist in those hours at work as a grumpy coworker who clearly didn't want to be there. Or I could change my perception of the situation by focusing on what I was grateful for and therefore exist in that situation as a happier version of me. It's a gift for me and for everyone around me, right? The past few months financially have been rough on me. You guys know I'm working on building my business, and like any business, it has its ups and downs. When the business is down, because I own it, it means my finances are down. Your paycheck isn't always the same week after week, right? And for a few weeks, I only focused on that and only focused on what I didn't have and what I couldn't afford. I couldn't even see the beauty of the life I had created, the courage it took to leave what I was doing and do something unconventional without much support. When I was focusing on those other things, the feelings of lack, it didn't change my financial situation. It only made me more and more miserable. I started thinking that I should fold and just give up on my business, on my dreams even, because I started to grow that feeling of lack, and it got so heavy that it just felt too heavy. I felt hopeless, and it makes you not want to show up anymore. I was only focusing on what I didn't have. And when you do that, even when you have what you consider to be a lot, it'll never feel like enough. You'll always see what you don't have because there will always be more to be had. I couldn't even see just the beauty in the day, the sunshine, having air to breathe, the night sky. You stop yourself from being able to enjoy the little things when you're so focused on not having the big things you desire yet. And honestly, I just got sick of feeling that way. You have to get sick of feeling the way that you're feeling. Nothing I say today is going to make you change the way that you think. You have to be sick of the way that you're feeling right now. And honestly, I just got sick of the way I was feeling and that mindset of focusing on lack. And going back to a 9-to-5 just isn't an option for me personally. There's nothing wrong with a 9-to-5, but I took that off the table for myself 2 years ago because it's not the life I'm working to create. At all costs, I'm building this dream. And I can't do that in that mindset I was in. If you want to change your state of being, start to be grateful. Think back to how I started this episode. We can do it during Thanksgiving, can't we? We focus on things we're grateful for that day. So that's proof that you could do that any day. But it takes a conscious effort. Wake up and consciously look for things to be grateful for. So many people complaining on social media, right? But you choose whether or not to follow those people, and you choose whether or not to focus on those things with them. Instead of complaining about what's going on, be grateful for what is going right. Even if they are seemingly small things, it's a choice. It's a choice that makes a big impact. It is a choice to be happy in spite of what's going on. Another quote from Steve Harvey: God's not going to keep giving you stuff if you can't handle what you already have. I love that one so much, because whatever higher power you believe in, God, the universe, whatever it is for you, if you're not grateful for what you have today, when you have things some people are praying for, maybe even that you once prayed for, you're not going to have the strength to create anything better. And therefore, you'll always have just what you have today or less. Some days I write as one of my 3 things I'm grateful for a future thing. Yes, I say something I'm grateful for that hasn't even happened yet. In fact, I do that often. I say I'm grateful for the future of the business that I'm creating. You know what that one does for me? When my workload feels heavy and like I don't know how I'll do it all, it allows me to be grateful for the work that's going to get me to the future I'm creating. It allows me to be grateful for the work. I am grateful that I have work to do in this business. What a cool way to think about it, right? I love that personally. It's all about that shift. I could have woken up and started my day with just straight up dread for everything I had to do. I've done it. I could feel like I can't do it all, I'll never make it. But that mindset, 1, doesn't serve me, and 2, doesn't give me the strength I need to pursue my dreams. You have to be grateful in advance to get the strength to do the hard things. If you go into something hard thinking about everything you have to do right now, you'll feel defeated before you get very far, if you get anywhere at all. I know it's what keeps many of my fitness prospects from ever committing to a plan. They can't stop focusing on the number on the scale and how far they have to go. They aren't focusing on what to be grateful for, like the ability to work out from home, to have a nutrition plan without having to cut out carbs, to have a moving body, to have a path to the future result that they desire. They have it, but they're focusing on how far they have to go. It's a choice to focus on those things. You may want to roll your eyes at some of the things I've said today, because it's sort of annoying to hear that it's a choice, isn't it? Because then that means that you have to own that you can do something about it. And you can't accept your own bullshit anymore. I get it. I feel you. I've felt that, like I said, over these past couple months. But we get to change that attitude today. Hey, look. Another thing to be grateful for. Grateful that we have a choice to focus on what we are grateful for. You may notice that throughout this episode today, I've kind of gone back and forth between gratitude and joy, and that's because you can't have one without the other. A grateful heart is a joy-filled heart. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. So what can we start doing every day to appreciate the day in front of us and the blessings around us? Well, for me, it takes intentionally creating a habit of doing so. Not just because it's Thanksgiving and throwing some gratitude on some turkey feathers or in the dinner prayer. It takes a habit. Your brain needs to be exercised just like your body. And you don't see results when you only do it sometimes or only on holidays, right? So if your mind is used to waking up thinking about all the things that you have to do that day, stressing how you'll get it all done or focusing on lack, then that is exactly what your mind will revert back to the day after Thanksgiving. But if you intentionally work to create a new way of thinking, you can change that default morning mindset. Now let's get into the tactical stuff that you can start implementing today to gain that attitude of gratitude beyond Thanksgiving. Take 5 minutes every morning to list out 3 things you're grateful for in that moment, and or 3 things you are grateful for that happened the day prior. Honestly, sometimes I find it hard to only come up with 3. Because once you start putting words on paper, like once you have the one thing down and you start giving focus to positive things, your mind does that magic thing where it starts to see more of things to show gratitude for. I hate to say could be worse. I hate when people say that. It could be worse. But literally, you remember that even if everything isn't going as planned, you still have things that you once prayed for. And I like including things that happened the day prior too, because it's so easy to remember only the bad things that happen, right? They sort of cloud up everything else. Intentionally choosing to remember the good is a great practice. Number 2, get excited about this new practice you're building. Think about how this new mindset is going to change your entire day from the start. Again, this is focusing on being grateful in advance, being grateful for the day that you're creating. That's exciting. If you're not excited about this practice, then you're not going to keep coming back to this day after day on the dark days, right? Create a gratitude jar. I have an Instagram friend. This is number 3. Create a gratitude jar. I have an Instagram friend, Rachel, who told me she does something like this. At the end of every day, write down on a piece of paper something you're grateful for from that day, even if it's just a back rub from your husband, and drop it on in the jar. On New Year's Eve, empty the jar and read through, or pull out that jar on the days you're really mentally struggling to feel grateful for anything. It's a great tool to have in your back pocket to be grateful for each day, even the dark ones. So go snag a cute jar so you actually want to use it and put it in your face every day. Once a month, write a letter or type up a long text, whatever, to someone that you're grateful for. We just don't take the time to really let people know how much we are thankful for them. You know, I'm guilty of this. And maybe you can relate. You ever have those days or like those mornings when you're arguing with your spouse the day before and you just wake up so angry the next day feeling like, are they going to apologize or what? You know what I do those mornings? It takes a lot of intention. As part of the 3 things I'm grateful for, I write the one thing I love most about my husband. I write, I am grateful for his work ethic, both at his job and how hard he works to care for our home. It's truly a powerful mental shift for me. It definitely helps make that silly fight seem kind of stupid. Or, hey, maybe you realize you're the one who should apologize, or maybe not, but you just realize that the fight doesn't really matter. So look, mark this on your calendar right now. On the last day of every month, put a reminder to write a letter or send a heartfelt text to someone you're grateful for. Let them know. It will mean so much to them, and also remind you how grateful you should be to even just have them in your life. Train your brain for gratitude and you will see more of life's positives because you're actively looking for them. Let's create that Thanksgiving happiness and gratitude that lasts all year round. And it won't be easy some days, but a grateful heart is worth the work, don't you think? Don't you want to be the person who's whistling while doing something others would complain about? That's totally my husband. He cleans the house while whistling. Like, he will scrub a toilet, be whistling. Don't you want to be the person that someone says, why the heck are they so damn chipper? I want to be that person. I'm not always that person. I'm working on it. I'd rather spend my life that way, and I'd rather see you spend your life that way. I'm excited to hear from you guys how these things work out for you. I challenge you to try it for 30 days from this moment. If on the 30th day you don't feel this has been a positive change for you, then just call me ridiculous and revert to your old daily habits. But set a reminder 30 days from today to evaluate how these practices have impacted your life. Check in with me. Let me know how you're feeling. I love this quote from Shetty because it focuses on being grateful for things that are not material things. There are so many things in the world that could be invisible to the material eye. And when you take a moment to stop, to pause, to be present, and notice them, that's gratitude. End quote. It's that intentional choice to stop, to pause, to notice what you have to be grateful for. It's that intentional choice that will create an exceptional life, because it's not happiness that makes us grateful. It's not waiting to be happy when you have all the things, because there will always be more things to be had. It's the gratefulness for what we have in this moment that makes us happy. Until next episode, friends. E.